Welcome to Smart Remarks, where I think Republican infighting ought to be on pay-per-view like WrestleMania. I'd pay to watch. So here's a good one for you. Remember Rick Santorum? I've been trying desperately to forget. But Santorum was in the news again this week. He gave an interview to the Des Moines Register newspaper where he was talking about gay marriage, and he said it would be suicidal, quote unquote, for the GOP to embrace gay marriage. Gay marriage is trendy, he said, and Republicans must not abandon their foundational principles. It's just a bunch of hipsters backing gay marriage. One of these days they'll come to their senses and realize that treating all Americans equally is wrong. And Rick Santorum is right. We've talked at length on this program about how the Republican Party seems to be splitting, how we've passed peak Republican, but boy, is it fascinating to watch it in real time. I've done a lot of, let's call it conservativology or wingerology here at Smart Remarks. There are two types of hardcore right-wingers. One are your religious conservatives, Santorum and their ilk. They really do believe that the Bible and their interpretation of it should be the law of the land. But not all right-wingers are like that. You've got other right-wingers, they may be personally religious, they may go to church, but they're uncomfortable with the idea of religion as politics. They've liked the values issue mainly as something to bash the Democrats with. But now that seems to be backfiring on the GOP, they're willing to drop it. They were never wedded to that approach in the first place. And I know for a fact, because I've heard it, that there are many Rush listeners, many Fox News watchers who are uncomfortable with the religious right and would be happy for the GOP to either embrace gay marriage or just say, whatever. Let's stop talking about gay marriage. Let's talk about how Obama is a fascist, socialist, communist instead. You also got your rhinos, of course, and good luck to them. But here's where the battle lines are drawn now. Santorum and his ilk are interested in being right, whereas your other more secular right-wingers and your rhinos really are more interested in winning elections. They may not like gay marriage, they may have moral qualms about it, but they're not willing to die on that hill, whereas Santorum and the religious right is and will. Santorum went on to say in the interview that he doesn't think support for gay marriage is, quote, a well-thought-out position by the American public. Dude, you're so right. You know, now that I think about it, I really think we ought to discriminate against gays instead of letting them have the rights that everyone else has. This is really what Rick Santorum believes. He thinks that people are going to one day wake up and start thinking this way. Obviously, Rick Santorum is completely wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time. But never mind, he doesn't really care about that because outrage! Some things never change. But other things, like society, have changed. And the Republican Party can either try to keep up with that change or it can stay right where it's at, receding ever further into the rearview window.